Oh my God, these questions are awful.
This is how I get my way into straight porn?
That's for the
Right.
DVD right there.
That's the extras.
It was destiny. Big Coffin artists got together because of destiny.
Yeah, I had my first band when I was in college. It was called Cock Chop.
I was 10 years old when Poison's Talk Dirty to Me came out, the video on MTV. I saw that, I saw all the girls, I saw the guitars, and I'm like, that looks like a cool lifestyle. So I started playing guitar, and that's what kind of set things in motion.
Well, I started playing when I was like really young, like 7 years old or whatever, but I think it was my teenage years when I was like 17, 18 years old that really hit me that this is what I really wanted to do, you know. It's nothing else like it, man.
But I didn't really get the bug until after I got out of the military. I always wanted to play the drums, and so after I bought my first house, I bought my first kit, and as soon as I sat behind the kit, I wanted to get in a band.
I first wanted to start playing in a band, I think, when I was in college, because at that point I started learning to play guitar, and then I started thinking musically. You know, I started thinking about my own material, or how I could play along with things, which just kind of gets the bug of writing your own music after a while.
It's something that's part of me, playing music, creating music. It's something that's a lot bigger than myself in a lot of ways. I think it's something I need to do. If I don't do that, I become grumpy. You know, it's like not getting your coffee in the morning, or for some people having a cigarette. You know, maybe it's not being able to create music.
That's all I need. I mean, yeah, I'd love to play in front of 10,000 people or 1,000 people or maybe even 100 people, but just the idea of getting together and taking your whole life and just kind of, for that moment, everything just kind of goes out the window, and you're with your brothers having at it. That's what it's about.
And if you're a musician, you should be playing, and at this point, I'll always consider myself to be an amateur musician, but I still have that creative need to play music. It's not like a piece of art. It's not like visual art. If you were to paint a painting and it's done and you put it in a museum or on a wall and it does its work statically. Music is very different, where even though we have recording technology now, CDs and MP3s and records before that, but you, as a musician, you have to keep playing to be doing your craft. When you play a note, it goes out into the universe, and then it will decay, and it's your job to play these songs over and over again to keep your art alive. That's how music lives, is through performance.
It's funny too, just going back to like my teenage years and stuff like that, being told by my parents that it was a phase that I was going through. Phase didn't go away.
A long time ago, Chris Giles and I we started the band. We put the band together. We decided we're going to make a band, and we'll get some people, and it'll be as democratic of a unit as it can be.
Jerry came into the fold, and then Yoakum came into the fold, and, well, rest is history.
And then Jerry knew this phenomenal guitarist, Tim Yoakum, who came in and kind of just changed the whole sound. It just added like 100% more rock to, there's an extra layer of guitar heaviness. And that also just changed the dynamic of how we write and how we perform.
Yeah, that's Tim Yoakum. That, and the guy's a freak, man. He's a hell of a lead player, man. Holy shit, the guy can fucking play. Blows my mind. I remember when we first started playing and stuff, and we were going, I don't even know what the hell you call him. He's just doing these things.
Yoakum. Anyway.
There's always Tim showing his balls.
I mean, you don't run around showing your nuts to everybody and shit. So, that's the Yoakum question.
It was a little repulsive, I must admit.
But I worked my way into the band. Hung out, did merch for him. Yeah.
Chris Giles. Chris Giles is probably one of the best bandmates you could ever have because he's so 100% into your band all the time.
Oh, Chris, the animal. Yeah, he's Captain Caveman.
He is a hard-hitting drummer. And I've played with a few drummers that have been like that, you know, but after jamming with him, it was like, holy shit.
Chris Giles is always in your corner, and that and he drums loud as shit.
Yes, he does.
He drums so hard and loud, but after a while, you know, you wouldn't have it any other way.
Jerry is, well, he's rock and roll, man. Jerry is just rock and roll. I mean, he lives, breathes, sleeps, eats, farts. I mean, he is rock and roll. From the way he friggin' straps his bass on to the way he grooves, his energy on stage.
But he would invite like all of Gino's over to his house, and they'd go.
By the time the morning came, I mean, it didn't look like the same apartment. I mean, there was. I mean, thinking all the furniture had tipped over and moved. There was holes in the wall. I think there was. I mean, there was urine in the corner. You know, it was bad.
He was quite the character for sure. I mean, he was the epitome of the rock and roll bass player, no question about it.
Jerry would call me at 3 in the morning, and I'd answer asleep, and he'd be like, "Hey, dude, Sharon's fucking throwing me out. She threw all my shit out on the lawn. I'm homeless."
He was a little uncontrollable, but, you know, it was good. It was good. It kept things really fucking awesome. So, yeah, working with Jerry was a pleasure.
But we were all bumming once Jerry left because that was a pretty big hole in the band. I mean, that's Jerry's bass playing was pretty cool, you know, on a lot of our songs, and it was tough to replace that because you're not just replacing a player. You're as a person, it's like your brother, and you know, we had some tryouts. We tried out some other people, and this didn't quite gel. And maybe, you know, there's some fairness to the people that tried out. We were still kind of, you know, mourning the loss of Jerry.
And his bass playing, Jerry Pond's bass playing on Driving to the Nail is fantastic. It's fantastic. And I've had other people point that out that, you know, aren't even in our band, that his bass playing was great. And but then Paul Kluge came along and essentially saved the band.
I had asked one of my close friends I had at work, and I'm like, "Hey, I know you play guitar, but you think you can, you know, play bass for us?"
Well, let me just put it in perspective. Paul Kluge shows up and knows the name of all of our songs and knows how to play them. You know, none of the other bass players knew the name of any of our songs. Nor did they know how to play them, or did they care to know, or did they want to try. Paul showed up and he's like, "Let's play Anger Management." And we all kind of looked at him, and he's like, "Let's play Hemingway." We hadn't played Hemingway in 6 friggin' months.
I think that he was afraid he was going to like let our band down when he first started because we had the CD release coming up and he had to learn all these songs. And he went home and did his homework, and it was awesome.
It was like cramming for the final exam playing bass. I practiced a lot of bass during that time too because I was so paranoid because I where Coffin had like such a big fan base for around the local area and everything, and I knew, you know, what I was stepping into.